Before the sun appears, the African savanna is almost completely swallowed by darkness. The night wind moves gently through the dry grass. The air still carries the last trace of coolness before the familiar heat of another day returns. Somewhere in the distance, a solitary call breaks through the darkness. The savanna is waking. A new day has begun. For African elephants, morning is a time to move. A large herd emerges from the surrounding brush. The adults form a protective line on either side, while the youngest members remain safely in the middle. The wind carries 1,000 different scents across the open plains. The herd continues forward. Long trunks search through the vegetation for branches, fresh leaves, and plants that still hold some moisture from the night. Not far away, a herd of zebras is leaving its nighttime resting ground. Dozens of black and white bodies move together in loose groups. Zebras have no claws. They have no powerful fangs, but they have speed, endurance, and an extraordinary ability to move as one. Farther across the grassland, herds of wildebeest begin heading toward fresh grazing grounds. They are almost constantly on the move, not because they are frightened, but because food is never spread evenly across the savanna. A giraffe stands among a cluster of acacia trees. Its long neck rises above the canopy. With a powerful tongue, it pulls leaves from branches that other animals cannot reach. The sharp thorns are little more than an inconvenience. Over countless generations, giraffes have evolved to exploit a food source that remains largely out of reach for other herbivores. Beneath a dense bush, a leopard watches in silence. It has been active for much of the night. Leopards are not hunters that rely on spectacle. They rely on patience, silence, and camouflage. Its body blends almost perfectly with the colors of the earth and vegetation around it. Ahead, a small antelope feeds cautiously in the grass. The leopard lowers its body. The antelope suddenly raises its head. Something is wrong. It has sensed danger. Within seconds, the antelope bolts across the open ground. The leopard does not follow. A long chase would cost too much energy. Instead, it disappears back into the shade. The sun climbs higher. The morning mist quickly disappears. Heat begins to settle across the plains. In a low-lying area beneath a few trees, a group of lions rests in the shade. For hours, they appear almost motionless, but they are not completely asleep. One lioness slowly lifts her head. Her ears turn toward the grassland. She has heard something. distance, a group of gemsbok antelope moves steadily across the golden grass. Their long, straight, parallel horns stand out against the horizon. The lioness rises, another follows. There is no roar, no warning, only slow, deliberate footsteps. The wind is carrying the scent of the antelope toward the lions. The conditions are almost perfect. The lions lower their bodies. Tall grass hides most of their silhouettes. The distance begins to shrink, one careful step at a time. But one antelope notices movement. Everything changes in an instant. The lions burst from cover. One lion lunges toward the back of the antelope, another closes in from the side. The antelope twists away, fighting to break free. Its horns point directly toward the attackers. It charges. The lions are forced to veer aside. For a moment, the entire hunt hangs in the balance. Then the antelope escapes. The herd disappears into the distance. The chase is over. There is no meal, no victory, only dust, heat, and the heavy rhythm of breathing beneath the midday sun. Elsewhere on the savannah, another herd appears. African buffalo emerge from the grassland and move toward shallow water. Their heavy heads remain lowered as they approach the water's edge. Buffalo are among the most formidable animals on the African plains. When threatened, a fully grown individual can become extremely aggressive when protecting itself or defending the herd. Out in the water, hippos are almost completely submerged. Only their backs and heads remain above the surface. A young calf stays close beside its mother. Near the shoreline, a Nile crocodile lies almost perfectly still. Only its eyes betray its awareness. It is watching everything. Along the shoreline, elephants arrive. They use their trunks to draw water toward themselves. The younger calves attempt to imitate the adults. Across the far side of the plain, a group of hyenas appears. They move quickly across the open ground. Then one stops. It has detected the scent of lions. The entire group changes direction. Ahead, several lions are resting beside an open patch of land. The hyenas approach. One lion stands. The atmosphere changes instantly. The hyenas do not retreat. They gather together. Their distinctive calls echo across the grassland. The lions answer with deep, warning vocalizations. Neither side wants to surrender the space. This is not simply a confrontation. It is a competition for food, territory, and opportunity. The hyenas have the advantage in numbers. The lions have the advantage in size and strength. The hyenas spread apart, but they do not disappear. They remain at a safe distance, watching. On the African savannah, patience can be a form of power. As the sun begins its journey toward the western horizon, the savannah changes once more. A herd of zebras crosses the grassland. Their hooves kick up small clouds of dust. Behind them, wildebeest begin moving as well. Hundreds of animals follow one another toward new grazing grounds. High above the grass, giraffes continue feeding among the acacia trees. Beneath one of those trees, the leopard appears again. This time, it does not rush. It moves slowly along a shallow depression in the land. A small group of antelope is ahead. The leopard stops. It watches. It waits. But then, a herd of zebras passes through the area. The opportunity is gone. The leopard turns away. Once again, patience proves more valuable than haste. In the distance, the elephant herd continues its journey. Farther away, a rhinoceros crosses an open patch of ground. A flock of birds sweeps across the sky. Below them, the hippos begin becoming more active. They leave the water and move onto the grass to feed. A massive adult crosses the edge of the plain. The savannah may appear peaceful, but several hundred yards away, the lions are moving again. Their morning hunt ended without success. Now, darkness is approaching, and darkness may offer them a new advantage. The sun finally reaches the horizon. The sky turns deep orange and red. Another day on the African savannah is coming to an end. But the story is never truly over. A failed hunt today can become a successful hunt tomorrow. A predator that dominates one moment may be forced to give way in the next. On these vast African plains, survival is never guaranteed.